What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Maverick here with another episode of Tensei. In fact, I believe this is the second to last episode, so we are nearing the end of this season as well. And well, last episode, I've already talked at length about how it's great that the people of slash monsters of Tempest got their revenge and whatnot, showed off their skills and abilities, but as a viewer, right, I want more. They kind of took the humans out way too easily, so I was not satisfied yet with the action that we have seen. So thankfully though, it seems that Rimuru still has to do his part. Of course, he's already off killing the soldiers and whatnot, but I do think that he's going to be tested at least somewhat, and come on, let's be honest here, we all want to see Rimuru show off some of his moves as well. With that being said, though, I think the title episode already spoils what's going to happen, which is Rimuru's going to become the Demon Lord, as if that was in any contention. But in any case, here's to hoping that we get some spicy fights, at least in this episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, I guess we're recapping once again. I find it quite interesting, actually, that this is essentially lasers. I actually thought it was like uh, very concentrated bursts of water, right? Sort of like a water gun in a sense. How exactly? Teleport? Yeah. Thankfully, we're gonna move thought of that already. Huh. So his unique skill. That's an interesting unique skill. So literally make a spearhead of people. Bye. Okay. I guess Rimuru isn't really gonna be tested here. Meh. Just like that. I don't really think you can, dude. Oof. Merciless. I do like this kind of system though. Like what you do, the actions you choose, whatever you do, causes you to gain unique skills. But okay, good. It's you two. You could. Eh. Yeesh. Okay. Seize control of those who plead for their lives or seek aid? Huh. That doesn't seem to be very useful, though. Like, if they already lost their will to fight, wouldn't they eventually be killed anyways? I guess maybe it's faster or more efficient or something of that sort. Okay, okay. It's a lot faster. Basically, it's just saving time. You're gonna do it in front of him? Come. Yeah. Oh? So, summoning a demon is the prerequisite to becoming a demon lord? Hello, I presume you are black, right? So I guess demons are still completely on a different kind of level. Okay. At least this seems to be pretty interesting. Oh no, everybody can hear this? Which is literally everyone in Tempest Nation. I just find something funny about all this. Evolve into a new race. Huh. So demon lords are a race. Is that what it's implying? Demon slime race. I guess whatever you say. Material spiritual body. Hmm. Infinite regeneration. Universal friend. Uh-huh. Okay. That would be useful against the church, I guess. Oh, great sage to world. Huh. Will now attempt to evolve. Is evolving. Oh, someone pressed B, I guess. Huh. Sacrifice degenerate. This is so interesting right now. Yay! Raphia? Lord of Wisdom, eh? Okay. Beelzebub. Oh, I'm glad that you got rid of Merciless. Honestly, I think that's quite a useless skill. I mean, it's efficient, but... Hmm. Oh, but you're about to be dead as well. Seriously, that's your first thought? Wait, I thought this guy was. Hmm. Well, boom. Is that like its core or something? Because he wants to test his physical prowess. What? Does that mean something? I mean, I know back in the OVA, this was someone. This demon was, it was quite special. Yeah, so he actually knows about him. Or rather, why don't you start thinking someone who can summon a demon like this is probably someone you should be even more frightened about, dude. Meanwhile, is your evolution done, Rimuru? Probably the most interesting thing out of all of this is that Great Sage and Words of the World are related in this. It's a good thing that you're not doing this in the middle of fighting, I guess. Well, welcome back. Oh, huh. So, Yeah. I do find it quite ironic that they had the names of an angel and a demon at the same time. Oof. Just like that. Huh. Will that change Shion in like a fundamental way? This ending, right? Yep. There we go. Of course, repeating, eh? 100%. So he's at least 33% more powerful than before? I guess is what he's implying. I do find it quite interesting that in order to become a demon lord, you have to have a demon. I guess it kind of makes sense in a way. And welcome back. Well, see you guys after this. Well, now that was actually quite interesting. Not gonna lie. It definitely reminded me. The gamer in me definitely feels giddy about all this. It definitely reminds me of when when you play a game and you level up and whatnot. In fact, the whole entire premise of this story does have a lot of gamification elements in it as well, right? Especially, I do find probably the most interesting thing about all this is the words of the world versus Great Sage, and then how it evolved into Raphael, right? Or and by the way, I do feel like the translations during those scenes were a little bit off. Right, in one of the translations, they mentioned that it was Great Sage was trying to petition to become a Words of the World, right? And so that actually got me a little bit confused. But upon rewatching and re-listening, I think what it actually was doing was simply sending an application to the Words of the World to evolve. It didn't really say it wanted to evolve into Words of the World, if it makes sense. And right now, it's such a it's such a weird and yet entertaining sort of concept being displayed here. It definitely gives the resemblance of like a central computer unit, that being the words of the world, like a central AI or whatnot. And so all the other all the other AI, if you will, that or this small part of AI that's following Rimuru around is gradually evolving on its own as well. But still, it's still inferior, right? It's still subordinate to the main central system here, which basically words of the world you can consider as the backbone of the world. It's how the world operates, right? And so that's why, in the language that they use to do all this, they translate it as petition. That works. I think application, or an application for evolving, that might come across as a little bit more easier to understand, right? It's requesting for the it's requesting for the for being granted the chance to evolve and whatnot, and then going through all those evolution scenes and so on and so forth. That was quite fun, being able to sacrifice some of your own skills in order to power up other skills. It also is really sort of, to me, a sort of gamification concept, right? If you consider in RPGs, in games where you have skill points, right? And then you want to learn a particular skill, but you don't have the skill points necessary, you could say, I want to sacrifice a skill, refund some of the skill points and then move it to somewhere else. Something of that sort, right? So that was indeed quite fun. And definitely, how Great Sage is going to move going forward, like, it's evolved itself into Raphael, right? And then we can clearly see that it has a certain degree of autonomy already, right? Here, it directly took over Rimu's body and carried out Rimu's will, right? And indeed, it's lording over all the other aspects of abilities within Rimuru as well. Particularly, like, we saw Raphael activate Beelzebub. And by the way, I also find it ironic as well, because Raphael is obviously an archangel in of the I guess Christian Catholic sect or whatnot, whereas Beelzebub is a demon, right, and one of the major demons as well. I think it's actually one of the seven princes or something of that sort. It's definitely one of the more well-known names, right? And actually, is Beelzebub another? I think Beelzebub is actually Satan, isn't it? Well, anyways, I do find it funny that they're using these sort of references and whatnot, but obviously in a completely different kind of context here, because we have our own demons here in this world as well, and they apparently are quite strong, right? So it never really occurred to me that, okay, we learned about Kuro. I believe his name is Kuro, right? Like Black, all the way back in season 1 as a sort of side story here, right? And then now we finally see him again. It never really occurred to me that to be a demon lord, you have to have demons under your control. That, for some reason, that just doesn't. You don't think that that's a prerequisite, right? Because we certainly don't see the other demon lords having demons under their command and whatnot. So I did find it quite interesting that at that situation, Rimuru decided to summon forth demons and Beulah, in fact, something a really, really big, or a really, very big deal of a demon, and whatnot. Although, I guess it might also be that Kuro just directly came out from his own volition, right? He saw the chance that Rimuru was summoning some demons, and so he basically jumped in front of the line and was like, I'm going, right? As for, their actual relationship with each other and whatnot, and why Kuro is so interested in Rimuru himself, I think that's something that we'll learn later on. I don't think it's made entirely clear back in season 1 when we did see the episode and whatnot. We only know that Kuro has a very, very high interest in Rimu, if nothing else. So, beyond that, what else? We got a ton of skills, and each skill sounding more and more OP than the other, right? Like infinite regen, basically being able to nullify nearly all magic and whatnot, and so on and so forth, right? Which I'm sure we'll get into in the future. That's not that important right now, but it does. One thing I do kind of feel questionable is the relative power level of everyone, right? Like, if we are to assume that, like, Falmuth is a big nation within humans, right? They really just crumbled without even putting any thing of a fight, right? So is that the par for the course for all the other human nations as well, or is it more of, Falmuth, even though they talk big, they're really on the lower, on the lower totem in regards to human nations? And if not, if Falmuth is regarded as strong even by human standards and whatnot, what's actually stopping, all the other demons and monsters overrunning the human nations and, establishing their own supremacy and whatnot, right? Certainly feel like they could, if it was the same sort of power discrepancy that we see here throughout these past 2 episodes, there's definitely a a dissonance here where you don't really feel that those kingdoms can survive. Alternatively, I guess you could say that those from Tempest are all, are the elites of the world already, and they're probably like the top dog even within all the other demon lords and whatnot, which may or may not be true. I don't really know because, I do, some of you guys have said, have mentioned a little bit about how, the rankings of the monsters and whatnot. But as far as I could tell, just from a curiosity glance and whatnot, they're really not exactly at the top level yet, right? There's still room to grow and whatnot. So definitely to me it feels like, okay, so what exactly, when can we say we truly made it into the elite of this world, right? Can we consider that to be the case now, right, with Rimuru just becoming this newly minted demon lord? And what's his relative power to all the other demon lords and whatnot, right? Certainly we saw here, a little hint that perhaps Rimuru's abilities goes far and beyond, but I do feel like that may be kind of misleading, considering that he has the power of Raphael, the power of knowledge, basically. In terms of absolute raw strength and whatnot, perhaps that's another story, right? But it definitely gives a lot of stuff to think about. And hey, I have to say that this episode was pretty satisfying, even though we didn't really see Rimuru get into any sort of troubles. But at least we got some pretty interesting development. And, I'm a sucker for these sort of world mechanics and whatnot, world building stuff in fantasy works. So I do love how we're given a lot more of this kind of exposition. And hopefully these will all be utilized in the future as well. So, anyways, there we go for this episode, and obviously, I guess, not exactly a side note, the main purpose, actually, was that, of course, all the citizens of Tempest have been revived, gonna live happily ever after, or maybe, as some of you say, the story has just begun. In any case, thank you guys, and I will see you guys next week for the grand finale. Stay tuned, and bye-bye.